Ciao and welcome back to Pasta Amore, Pasta with Love. On this version of Pasta Amore, we're going to focus on the amore part of that word in honor of Tuesday being Valentine's Day. So what better way to express your love on that day is to create a special dessert. In this case, we're talking about a heart-shaped dessert ravioli made with chocolate pasta and filled with a mascarpone, powdered sugar, and little chocolate bits, almost like a cannoli filling, or your favorite cream filling with whatever flavors or accents you wanted to add to that. Okay, once we have that done, we're not only going to create a ravioli, but the sauce we're going to serve is, in fact, an Italian dessert all its own called a Zabaglione. Zabaglione is basically a light custard made with egg yolk, sugar, and a fortified wine such as Marsala. You could use Prosecco, you could use limoncello, any flavor, Frangelico if you wanted to, anisette, Zambuca, any flavored liqueur, sweet wine that you wanted to embellish your Zabaglione with. And that is usually served by itself as a dessert, but in this case it's going to become the sauce or a bed for our chocolate ravioli. And then we're going to accent it with a little bit of fresh raspberry, a little raspberry drizzle, some fresh mint, and a little powdered sugar. So, how do we begin with our chocolate heart-shaped ravioli? I've already made the chocolate dough. If you recall, in our dough making section, we did basic pasta dough with 5 eggs and a pound of durum flour. So I'm using the same durum flour, but I'm cutting that amount down to about 14 ounces instead of a pound. Okay, that's because I'm going to add to this about an ounce of cocoa powder, about an ounce of powdered sugar, a pinch of salt, just to bring those flavors to the forefront. Okay, so I let this dough rest. It's a nice, firm, not sticky dough. Right? It's important that you get the consistency right when dealing. Anytime you're adding chocolate to something, you are going to alter the texture a little bit. So you run the risk of your dough breaking up. So you got to get your ratios of egg to flour, your moistness, and because the cocoa powder will break down a little bit in there. You're also adding sugar, which creates moisture. So we have to adjust that a little bit. So I have our pasta dough all made, and what we're going to do is roll it out into thin sheets. I'm going to show you how to fill it and cut it out into heart shapes. So what do I have to cut that in heart shapes? Well, I have one of two things. I have an actual ravioli press or a form that's in a heart shaped. Okay, if you don't have one, not everybody has one of these. Okay, we're just going to stamp out our ravioli. Or you can just get a basic cookie cutter, heart-shaped cookie cutter, and press out your ravioli. In that case, you're going to have to crimp it a little bit to seal the edges. Okay, so I'm going to start by just rolling out, slicing a piece of our dough. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of durum. Okay, just because that chocolate and the sugar, I could feel it's a little bit moist on the inside, so I want to not make it sticky as it goes through the rollers. Okay, so we've got our dough. I'm going to put my pasta roller at the widest setting again when we start out. Okay, now you can see that it doesn't come out in a nice sheet. Okay, we have to play with this a little bit. Okay, that's what I was talking about with our chocolate dough. It's a little bit different. Okay, but you have to have a little bit of patience, and this will come together. Okay, so we're going to All right, so you see it's a little bit crumbly, okay? This is why I keep my extra durum flour close by, okay? Just because I want to facilitate this going through the machine. All right, so we're gonna go back. Now we're going to knead the dough. We're going to continue doing this. Little by little, it'll come together in a nice sheet for us. Okay, so now I can start going down little by little. And we want to get this probably about number 5 on the roller, which is about right there. So the idea is to get your sheets thin enough so that when we go to cook these, they won't become too doughy, they won't become too thick. So we want it relatively thin, okay? So I'm going to cut these into 2 pieces. And now I have my sheet ready for filling, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do is take my my ravioli cutter, and then I'm going to mark, I'm not going to press through. I'm going to mark where the ravioli is going to go, just so I know where to put my filling. So we're gonna serve 3 today, okay? Now I have my filling. You could see I've got my mascarpone filling with my mini chocolate chips, lightly sweetened with powdered sugar. You can put a little cinnamon there you like. You can grate a little orange if you like. Also, orange and chocolate go well together. But I left it pretty much straight up. All right, so we have our pastry bag here, okay? And we're going to just put a small dollop in the middle. That's about good. Okay, so we've got our 3. Now our 3 raviolis. I'm gonna just take a little bit of water and I'm gonna seal around, just so when I put that other piece of dough on top, the raviolis are gonna seal. Okay, we're gonna take our other piece of dough right up on top, okay? And we want to pat it down to get all the air out from around the ravioli. And we want to press it because that's going to help in bonding these 2 pieces together. All right, so we are going to visualize the center. Okay, and now we're really going to press. And then we're going to simply pop out our little ravioli. You can put a little flour on your cutter here also to make it a little bit easier. Two and three. Now I figured 3 would be a nice serving as a single portion. If you wanted to, you could take this dough and re-roll it with the rest of your dough. Now, I'm going to leave those on the side for the moment, because what I've got here now, I'm going to show you a little bit closer. I've got 3 beautifully sealed chocolate raviolis, all right, with the cream filling inside. And now, before I go ahead and cook those, I need to make the sauce, the Zabaglione I was talking about. So, you can do this in one of 2 ways. What I have here are 4 egg yolks in a stainless steel bowl, very important, okay? 1/4 cup of sugar, and about 2 ounces of Marsala wine, okay? So what I'm going to do, usually when we do an egg sauce or a hollandaise or a custard or something like that, we can either have a double boiler, which is a safer way to do it, or as I'm going to show you, we're going to do it right on the flame, directly on the flame. However, I'm going to move it on and off the heat so I don't scramble the eggs. What you want to do is get those egg yolks cooked and create a nice velvety custard without scrambling the egg. Okay? And that liquid in there, that's going to help to give it volume as well. You'll see the finished product. You saw what we started with. Okay? So you want to incorporate all that sugar, the wine, and the egg yolks. Okay? This is going to give your hand, your wrist, your arm a workout. All right, so I'm going to start directly on the heat for a little bit until I see what I'm looking for is these to get a nice lemony color, and I want to leave little streaks in the custard as it cooks. At some point, my bowl is going to start becoming hot from the residual heat on the flame. All right, you can see it's fluffing up already. Okay, that's what you're looking for. Constant whipping. You do not walk away from this. Okay, you see how I pulled it off? I'm going to go back on the heat. See how it's changing color? It's getting a little lighter, a little lemony in color there. All right, so starting to thicken up a little bit. I have my water ready for my ravioli in a minute. Little by little, you can see it's not there yet, but it's almost there. Okay? And you can see the volume of those 4 yolks have really almost doubled the amount of mixture here. So the bowl's getting a little warm, like I said. You want to hold it with a towel. Now I'm smelling my yolks starting to cook. You can see, okay, you're getting that nice custard look to it. I like to push the envelope. I like to cook it as much as I can without scrambling those yolks. On, off, on, off. Now it's starting to leave little trails behind as I pass the whisk through here. Okay, definitely you're seeing that custard develop. Okay, and probably another couple seconds on the heat here. Always make sure to get your sides when you do this. Otherwise, if the egg will stick to the side. The heat coming up the side will cook your egg yolks. Again, like I said, I like to push the envelope just a little bit, because nothing worse than eating raw eggs, right? Especially this day and age. All right, so here's what I'm looking for now. I got a beautiful, actually we're going to leave that there. We're going to transfer our water over to here, but I need to taste this first. So you could see what I'm talking about with that custard, okay? It's very light, and it's rich at the same time. The egg yolks and the sugar came together. Really airy, luscious in your mouth. That's the mouthfeel you're looking for, okay? All right, so we'll put our sauce away for the moment. We have our water rapidly boiling, okay? I'm going to go ahead and drop in my 3 chocolate raviolis. Let those cook. And then let's get our plate ready. Okay, so I have my plate. I'm just going to take a spoon and I'm going to spread Now you don't want, this is about right here. You need a little bit of sauce for every bite of ravioli, okay? So we're going to make a little circle of our sauce in the middle. Okay, let that sauce set up. Check on our ravioli. Okay, a little bit more. The dough is not quite tender enough yet. You want to make sure that dough gets cooked so that you don't have this really raw, starchy taste to it. Okay, and you got to be careful. You don't want to boil so long that they're going to explode and all your filling, you lose all your filling. Nor do you want to do that to the flame either. All right. So I'm going to check them again. You got to be close, they're floating. Okay, so now I'm just going to blot them. And I'm going to place 1, 2, and I got 1 more. Beautiful. They held together nicely, they didn't explode. Alright, so we have our ravioli nicely in the center. I'm going to put 1, 2, e 3. Okay, I'm going to get my raspberry sauce. Okay, this is just a fresh raspberry. A little bit of water, a little bit of sugar, cooked down in a pan until it's thickened. Then we strain it to make sure we get all the seeds out. We chill it, right? And you have what they call a raspberry coulis. Okay, so I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of raspberry sauce. I'm going to come back over with a little powdered sugar. And we're going to finish it with a little plouche of mint. Okay, in case you're wondering, that's a plouche. Okay, I'm going to put that right in the center. Like that. And there you have your fantastic Valentine's Day ravioli dessert for your favorite love. Okay, so how long did that take? Probably 15 minutes maybe. Okay, yes, granted, there's a little bit of prep beforehand, but you saw how easy that came together. This is something I know you can do. All right, you got 2 days between now and Valentine's Day. All right, you want to impress somebody? Say, I got this fantastic dessert. Cook your heart out with a meal. Have a nice. Probably don't do a pasta meal because you're going to have pasta for dessert. But finish the dessert off. Finish the evening off with a beautiful chocolate ravioli with some mascarpone filling. Okay, from our house to yours. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'll see you probably for St. Patrick's Day. Ciao, ciao.